Hello, my name is Trish and my company is Jumpstart for Change, and I want to talk to you about visibility being overrated. Now, one of the things that is like the staples of business that we all hear, especially online, but not just, of course, because it's important everywhere, is that you need to be consistent and you need to be visible. So I want to talk a little bit about that and why I'm saying it's overrated, because it really depends on the quality of your visibility. So if you're just showing up every day and people see your name as they scroll by the news feed, yes, they know your name, but maybe they don't know what your message is. They don't know what you stand for. Maybe they have an idea of what you do. So it's important that they're able to recognize your name, but really the important part of the visibility aspect is the connection. How are you connecting with people? And if you can't be visible every single day, and this is how I personally feel it applies to moms, because as mom entrepreneurs, we're busy. We may not be able to come onto Facebook and be visible every single day, or do Facebook Lives every single day, or comment on 3 to 5 posts every single day. I mean, maybe you have that time and that's great, but if you don't, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't feel guilty because you might not be able to do it every day. What's really important is what kind of impact you're having on the days that you do show up. Yes, it's connected to consistency, which I spoke to. I spoke to that before, but visibility is the same thing. Yes, you have to be visible. You have to be around, of course, but if you appear visible to just one person a day, if you connect to just one person, even a week, and really connect, and you are able to go onto Facebook or whatever other way that you connect with people, or it's in person, and you're able to reach out to them and really impact them because of something you've said, or you've given them value in some way, or you maybe, coach them on a specific issue, that's where they're going to know, like, and trust you, because then you are bonding and connecting with them on a different level. So my son's calling me. Okay, so you can't always be visible, and then sometimes your visibility has a time limit. Because my son's calling me, I'm going to have to end this soon. But I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to liken and give you the example that, you go to, if you have kids, which all of us do, you go to a party and you go tons and tons and tons of kids' parties, and you see the same moms over and over again. And maybe you even know their story because you overhear them talking to people and you kind of pick up on what their struggles are and you kind of get to know them a little bit, but peripherally, because they're not really speaking to you. But then there is the odd mom, or this one mom that comes up to you and says, "Hey, how you doing? I saw that, your son was having trouble going to play. Is everything okay?" "Oh, yeah, he's okay. He's just a little shy." "Oh, God, mine is shy too. Isn't it so tough when we have to deal with, that shyness and knowing whether or not we're making the right decisions?" And before you know it, you've developed this conversation with this woman and you've completely connected. And the next time that you show up at this party, you seek her out because you're like, "Wow, I really liked talking to that woman. I'm going to find out if she's here." And maybe you switch exchange numbers, and maybe you plan a play date, and maybe you connect beyond these parties because now she's made an impact on you. And the next time she sees you, maybe she'll say, "Hey, how was the last party you went to? Was it any easier with your son?" "Oh, yeah, it was. So thank you so much." So now she's remembered something from your discussion and brought it back to you and showed that she cared. Well, if you haven't realized up until now that this is exactly like business, I'm going to spell it out for you. This is exactly like business. So maybe you can't be in 3 to 5 different groups, Facebook groups, and connecting with people and, making sure that your name is seen or your comments are seen. But what if you can put aside 15 minutes and you just make the promise that you're going to connect with one person, whether it be a private message or a comment on their post, or something like that, or making one post in one group, but really putting your heart out there and doing it with love. and with the intention to connect. You know, here's a bit of my story. Is anybody else struggling with this? I mean, those I have found have been my most popular posts, is when I really put the truth out there. And also, when I go into a group to connect with somebody and I really like scan the things that I've seen and I wait for something to kind of come out at me that speaks to me, that I'm like, oh man, I would love to speak to this woman because I can so feel her with this and I can reach out to her. And then I go and I really give my wholehearted advice or support, or I let her know that I'm holding space for her and that I understand how she feels, and I really put myself out there for her, then she remembers me. And think about those people who reach out to you that put more than just like, hey, way to go, or love you, or, you know, this is great. You know, and I'm not saying that with any judgment, because anybody who's seen my posts and my comments, you'll see that I say that too sometimes. I'll, you know, put in a little emoji or, you know, just be like, love this. And that's also my way of showing support to someone who's putting stuff out there. And I'm like, hey, I see you. And that is a contribution as well. And not that you can't do that. But when we're talking about real visibility, the impact piece of the puzzle is the thing that counts the most. Say hi if you're here. I see there's a couple of people watching. The impact that you have on this person, you know, the extra 5 minutes it takes you to really respond. And I'll be honest, sometimes I'll go into groups, and there's a few groups that I'm in that are really open and vulnerable, like the topics are really open and vulnerable. And I'll look at the post and I'll be like, I just don't have time to write my opinion on this, or not opinion, but like to give my support here. I just don't have time. So sure, I'll put a like or I'll put a heart. But on the days that I really take my time and I say, okay, I'm going to give this person my all, and this is the only thing that I'm going to do on social media today because it's calling to me and it needs my attention. And I write well thought out response or comment or helpful hint, or give them some sort of value so that they can take that information and direct it somewhere. Almost always, I have ended up connecting with that person and made an even stronger impact. And many times what I'll do when I do that is then I'll offer a phone call and I'll be like, I would love to help you further with this, you know, let's connect. And almost always the person will take me up on that call, because it's not just coming out of nowhere. Like, I'd love to help you all with your problems. Again, not judging anyone who does that, because that's important. But I'm speaking specifically in the connection where you see someone is really needing specific help or value or has a genuine question, and you have some way that you can contribute. Then give your answer and say, I'd be happy to speak to you further about this if you want to connect. And then I send them a spot on my calendar, and then that's how you build the rapport. And that one person, that one connection that you've made, who you've become visible to, that person will potentially write a testimonial for you, or will potentially have other friends. And even if they don't directly become a customer at that moment, you have made your impact with that person. And she may recommend somebody else to come to you because, oh, you know, so-and-so was so helpful with this issue. You have the same issue. Why don't you talk to her? You know, and that's how you start to build that know, like, and trust factor. These are not just marketing phrases. People want a friend. They want someone who understands them. They want to feel heard and not just get advertising thrown at them or posts or, you know, yes, those things are important, and we exist in these groups because we see the value that they provide. And many times I've seen a post and be like, oh my God, she totally gets me. I love her and I want to get to know her. So not to say that that's not valuable, but I just want to let those of you who are not able to be visible each day and show up and make your 3 to 5 comments and add value and post on, you know, every group that you belong to, just take a deep breath, okay, and do what you can. So what can you do? Can you connect with one person a day? Is that something that you find doable? I know that for me, some days, all I have is one person in me to be able to connect to. And if you can't, and if your energy is not in it that day, that's okay too. Let's think of, you know, is it possible for you to connect 3 times a week? or once a week. Where are you at? And don't feel guilty about where you're at, but when you are reaching out and being visible, give it your all, give it your heart, be in the right energy, because that's what's going to come across. And I guarantee you that if each post, each comment, each time you present yourself, or you are present in a group or in private messaging or wherever with someone else, if your heart is really in it, that you will be that much more impactful, and that person will remember you much more than if they see your name scrolling through 150 times a day, or once a day, or 3 times a day, or whatever it is. So that's what I have to say about visibility. If you have any questions, you want to talk about this, you want to reach out, then feel free. I'm around. You can private message me, and I would love to talk to you more. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.